Welcome everybody to the vintage. I had to take last week off. I was on vacation. Um, so we're doing surprise cuts because there was a couple surprise cuts. At least ones I thought would make the team didn't make it. So um, so let's get into it.
Skull Vikings, let's win this game. Skull Vikings on a relay. Go get that first down, then get a touchdown. Rock 'em, sock 'em, fight, 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 fight. Go Vikings, run out the score. You'll hear us yell for more. VIKINGS, Skull Vikings, let's roll.
Wow, here we go.
We're back.
Yeah, back and live. You are looking live. That's okay. So I needed time away. It was a great vacation, great beach. Loved every second of it. Um, so cuts. So who were you surprised got cut? I thought for sure Bo Richter would make the team. I was surprised he got cut.
I was surprised both him and Carter were cut. And also Robinson, the guard. I thought he was going to make the team, and he got cut.
Yeah,
They're back on practice squad, but you're going into the Giants game, and now keep in mind this is the first string. They haven't played together all year,
yeah.
especially on the defensive side of the ball. So
This right here, I don't think Miles Gaskin is going to be on the practice squad all year. I think they're going to wait after week one, and then they're going to activate him. That way his contract isn't fully guaranteed.
he comes up playing the active roster against the Niners. So but yeah, I just they had a lot of guys that they let go that I was kind of scratching my head with. Especially Richter. Richter balled out this preseason. He showed he should at least be on special teams.
And McCain was another one.
Yeah, McCain was another. It just to me it was just kind of like, and then they kept Caleb Evans. I guess they tried to move him. Nobody would take him. Scene is gone.
Signed with the Jets.
Signed with the Jets. So if Salah can get anything out of him, good luck. Which he plays the Vikings again in London, where he broke his leg. So this year. I don't. There's still talk. I don't know if you've heard this or not. They're going to sign Ryan Tannehill. The Vikings are. I heard that. I don't know if it's true or not.
I haven't heard that. Like I said, I've been on vacation, so I've been out of the loop.
I've seen it in a couple of online posts, which they would move on from Mullins, which I'm fine with.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm fine with moving on.
Well, now is it going to be week 2?
Could be.
Signing? That way they don't have to guarantee his contract because they have to pay Louis Steens a $4 million contract.
Yeah, I guess they're on the hooks for $6 million with Scene.
So,
yeah, he's on the hook for $6 million. It'll probably be after week 1. Probably. I saw the little blip on social media, so take it for what it is. But I've heard his name mentioned before. They're looking for.
I don't know if I'll want Tannehill though.
Well, what other choices you got out there? I mean, Tannehill or Mullins?
I mean, does it really matter this year?
It does, because I tell you what, he's trying to win this year. He should be trying to win every year, but he's trying to win this year. He's not that whole this year, is a pass BS is out the window. He's trying to win this year, and I think the ownership wants him to win this year.
Hmm.
You know.
Well, What else? Was there anybody else besides Richter and McCain that we talked about? Was there anybody else who got cut? I mean, at the guard, I guess. Was there anybody else who was a surprise cut?
Lucky Jackson.
So you don't think Nkwonu was a surprise cut?
I don't understand that. I don't know who's returning kicks for us now. I thought this kickoff return rule would be perfect for him.
People were saying, Lucky didn't make the team either. So
Yeah, and he's on practice squad too. But
yeah.
who's going to return kicks? Is it going to be Chandler?
He's the backup running back right now.
He's the backup running back.
Can they afford?
It's either going to be it may be Brandon Powell. Could be him.
Well, I know he's the punt returner.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who they're gonna get to return kicks.
Another surprising thing was the Vikings didn't put a waiver in on anybody, from what I understand. They didn't put any claims in.
No. There must not have been anybody out there they wanted. Sometimes I scratch my head with this front office. I question what they really know, especially after I talked to my guy the other night, and he told me some things too. So I'm kind of like, I don't know who's running the front office, put it that way. We don't really know who's in charge. We got the figureheads, but we don't know who is really calling the football shots. Everything's done by committee, and that committee, from what I understand, half the people on that committee have never played a down of football in their lives. So, so we'll see what happens, but all starts for real now.
So, going back to the title of the show, who is the biggest preseason cut ever?
Wow, in Viking history? Got to think back here. We cut Dave Osborne in 76. He was one of the last cuts. And that was a shock. Everybody expected him to at least retire a Viking like Bill Brown did, but Bud cut him. He cut him, Oscar Reed, and Doug Kingsrider. That was in 76. Doug Sutherland was a surprise cut in 81. Another surprise cut would have been recently. I can't really think of anybody recently, but back in the day, those were the surprises.
What about the Daniel Carlson being cut?
Yeah, Daniel was what after like 2 games in the season.
Yeah,
and that was, but you knew how it was a surprise. You drafted the guy that high, and you cut him after a bad game in Green Bay, and he's now one of the best kickers in the league. And all they did was they tweaked something in his kicking style. Yeah, and now he's the best kicker in the league. So that tells you that's more on Zimmer than on anybody. Yeah, that's true, T-Bass. That's very true, especially the video games. I guess, you know what? I can't even say that when Alan Page got traded, because that had been building up all year. Yes,
the Moss trade.
The Moss trade, yeah. Yeah, T-Bass, Alan Page was cut. When they cut Page got cut he got cut after the Seattle game in 78. The Vikings lost on a last-second field goal. Alan Page knew that he was going to get traded. They had been actively trying to trade him, I guess, the whole offseason. And Alan was pissed off about it because if you're going to trade me, let me know. Prepare me for it. So he was upset. He didn't get along with Bud Grant at the time. Bud was mad at him for losing so much weight. They changed the defensive scheme on Allen, which didn't help his style of play at all. So when Allen was cut, and he was just cut, I don't know if they tried to trade him or whatever, but he was cut. So that wasn't a shock. The fact that they did it so, unceremoniously, as they say, they just dropped him like a bad habit. That was the shocker. It was pretty classless on the Vikings part.
Because I know it's different now. Back then, there really was no free agency.
No.
Pretty much you played with the team until they decided they wanted to get rid of you.
Yeah, and if you were a free agent, you had to sign with that said team before they trade you.
Yeah. So that I mean a lot has changed since then. So there's probably more. The rosters back then were what, 48?
Back then,
Yeah.
45.
So there was far less jobs, far less people to get cut,
and there was no practice squad.
right? It's always been 20 games, just how they got the 20 games.
Right.
So they didn't do cuts until after the last game, right?
In preseason, you had like 3 cut down dates. I forget how many they had, but you had your roster. You get down to 60, then you get down to like 45, and there was a couple of cut dates, not like one big day like it is now.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about that was the Vikings never announced their cuts until the day after they made the cuts, like nationally, because what they would do was, like, we'll use as an example, the Vikings announced all their cuts Monday, right? Monday. The Vikings back in the day would have waited until probably Tuesday or Wednesday to tell you who got cut. And then all the while they're doing that, they would be making trades. So, they're trying to make trades or signing players. So you really didn't know who got cut until 2 days later, unless you knew somebody that was part of the team and then they told you.
Yeah, thanks, Shaq. Hey, we'll see you Friday.
Hey, Shaq, yeah. Yeah, we'll be on Friday.
Yeah, I'm just wondering because that's the one thing that with all the shows that we've talked about, we've really never talked about the process of how they did it back in the 60s and 70s with the cutting the players and the roster size, and if you got cut. So it was more of a waiver wire, right? Back then, if you got cut, you went on waivers just like you do nowadays.
Yeah.
And when a team was able to pick you. So you never became an actual. So if you didn't get picked up on the waiver wire, so if they wanted to sign you as a free agent, could they just do it like they do now, or?
Yeah, that never changed. That's how they did it with Wally Hilgenberg. He actually sat down, he was a free agent. He got cut by the Lions, and he explained it. That's why he has such respect for Jim Finks. He actually sat down and negotiated a fair contract with the Vikings. He was a free agent. So if you were literally a free agent, you could negotiate with another team.
Jarvis Redwine, he's not even on the practice squad, is he?
Jarvis Redwine. Jarvis Redwine played with the Vikings years ago.
No, but say he didn't make the practice squad when he got cut.
No, Jarvis actually was a kick returner. He was good at it. He was a good kick returner, and then the one that cut him was Les Steckel. Steckel cut him, and
his practice squad started what, 70s?
No, they had the taxi squad in the 70s, which
same thing, pretty much, right?
Yeah, but it didn't last. But you could only have like 2 or 3 players on there, not the 17. Usually, in the ones on taxi squad were usually a quarterbacks. But practice squad started what, 90s, 2000s?
Yeah, Irv Smith Jr. got cut again.
Yeah, he might as well just hang it up. He might as well just hang it up because his career is done.
What do you mean you've been in the morning, Sarah? I've been on vacation, so I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah,
I totally disconnected from the world. I disconnected my phone. Well, my phone broke, but still, I would probably.
Well, no wonder you disconnected. Your phone broke.
Well, I probably still wouldn't have been on my phone anyway. We went to an inhabited island, and it was awesome. I took a couple of car ferries to get there. The first time I've ever been on a car ferry, so that was pretty sweet. I actually sat. It was it's the Gulf of Mexico. So then you have the Gulf of Mexico hitting the shore, and then the land is up a little bit, and then it goes down. You have like another pool of water, another thing where the land goes up, another pool of water. That's low tide. Well, high tide, it goes all the way back. So I just sat there and I'm like, I'm just gonna watch the birds and watch the birds dive and get the fish, pelicans, seagulls, all that. On the way there, we had jumping dolphins next to us, and also on the way back. Now that was awesome seeing the dolphins. That was pretty sweet. So I was just sitting in my chair watching, and my wife says I fell asleep for like an hour. So I'm like, hey, it was awesome. It was really relaxing, so I had to get away. So sorry, I know I said we would be on last week, but the vacation came up, so we'll definitely be on Friday.
Yeah, the high schools and colleges start here this weekend. So
Yeah, it was week 0 already happened. Florida State's already lost.
yeah, yeah, they went overseas to do it.
Yeah. Yep, college football tomorrow.
Yeah, the Gophers are playing North Carolina tomorrow night. So this year, it's going to be interesting because I want to see what KLC is going to do now. This is on him. This is on KLC. He's got to be successful this year.
Well, we got to. I mean, we all knew the Vikings were potentially we're not going to be good this year. I say we just watch to see what happens.
See, that's the wrong kind of attitude to have.
Well, I'm saying for Sarah, she's totally checked out.
And plus, okay, from what I've read, yeah, JJ McCarthy was going to start at eventually sometime.
1993 is when the. Yeah, it was only. Yeah, there wasn't very many players on the practice.
No, there was only 5. That's right. And then that's 93 is when they cut the draft down from 12 players to 17 to 7. Yeah, that's when they cut it down. So that's okay. That was when that's when free agency started. That's when ultimate free agency started for the NFL. And that year was harder. It was hard to keep track of who went where that year because players were just leaving and going. They were taking advantage of it, and many of them did, and many of them got paid. A lot of them got overpaid, and but it was at one time where you could cash in. So
yeah, I don't think the Vikings are going to be as bad as people are going to say they are, especially since they signed Stephon Gilmore.
It could be another 7-win season.
Yeah, which is fine.
I mean, but what's his name is going to have to prove he's a good coach, KLC. I don't know. I still have little faith in him. I just don't. I don't know what Darnold's going to do with the first string since he's never played with them. I can, the timing will be off.
Well, we'll figure it out. They'll figure it out.
I hope so. Well, they also this year they got to run the ball.
Yeah.
They don't run the ball. You're going to have a problem because Aaron Jones is going to be vocal.
I don't think they're going to run the ball much against the Giants because I was looking at Aaron Jones' stat last year. He only carried the ball 13, 14 times a game. So
well, if
are they really going to give Ty Chandler 13 carries as well? I don't know.
They're going to have to. They're going to have to. I mean,
I bet the Packers wish they had Aaron Jones now with Dillon being out for the year.
Oh, is he out for the year?
Yeah.
Surprised they didn't I'm surprised they didn't draft. They didn't sign Nwangu.
We technically have 3 running backs right now. C.J. Ham is a third down running back because the pass protection and going out. So technically, we have 3 running backs.
Yeah, we got 2 and 1 fullback.
Yeah, neck surgery.
Yep. Wow. Yeah, that's true.
So Joey Browner wouldn't have been a surprise cut because he was injured.
Well, no, Joey was a surprise cut because Joey was slated to start. Joey got cut because he failed his physical,
Right.
and
But
he
was
was,
that a
he was.
surprise or?
That was Denny Green that released him. Yep, that was Denny Green, and everybody thought he was going to make the team, and they were kind of banking on him, and he failed that physical, and Denny let him go. He was a shock. Was
Rich Gannon being let go over Sean Salisbury was a shocker to me.
the one. The real shocker was, okay, 92, we had Wilson, Salisbury, and Gannon. The one that grasped the playbook really quick, Denny's playbook, was Wade Wilson, and he was cut right away. They went with Gannon, and then Gannon held out. Gannon held out, so the one that started the season was preseason was Salisbury, was Sean Salisbury. But yeah, Gannon did not get along with Denny Green, so and neither did Gary Zimmerman, and they got traded the next year. And then he's always like, rookies that stand out, but they let them go for whatever reason. Recently, this year's cuts were a surprise to me this year. I expected Richter to make the team. I expected Carter to make the team.
I didn't. I expected Carter to get cut and not even re-signed to the practice squad.
Why?
He did nothing.
He played well, and he played pretty good in the Cleveland game. And he played real well in the Philly game. I don't like the number 14. I just don't. Every time I think of 14, I think of Fred Cox. I do not think of Stephon Diggs.
Well, Brad Johnson.
Yeah, but he won his 14 with a Super Bowl with the Bucks. So
there really isn't. I mean, Stephon Diggs, but that's probably
Joe Webb. He did wear 14 too.
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs will be immortalized in 14 for the Minneapolis Miracle. So
yeah.
He'll be immortalized.
I understand Case Keenum's out for the year too.
Case is done
for all you people. Yep.
Wow. And Case is what, 30 something?
Yeah.
So he's up there.
I just I'm just surprised that they're keeping two running backs.
I don't understand.
The Nkwonu one was really a little shocking, probably.
Okay, if you're gonna run the ball, and Aaron Jones is known to get hurt.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. So you're kind of telling us right then and there you're going to throw the ball a lot if you only got two on the roster. Or you know what? They'll bring Gaskin up.
Yeah, I think after the first game. I don't think they need him for the Giants game.
The Giants could be the team to come up and bite us in the ass, though.
No, I don't know. I think they remember that playoff game, the ones that are left.
Well, they still got Lawrence on those, so guess who's going to have a hell of a hard time? Bradbury. Don't know what the hell. I mean, Ed Ingram is still with the team. Go figure. Akileb Evans is still with the team. Go figure.
Yeah, but Evans isn't starting.
He's still on the team.
I don't think I would rather have Evans than Cine or Booth or any of those guys.
I'm shocked Booth is still with the Cowboys.
But if you look at the stats from Gilmore last year with the Cowboys, he was not bad.
No. Well, here's the thing too. Shaq he's got the hamstring injury, right? Shaquille Griffin.
Yeah, I think he's ready for. I think he's ready for the first game though.
Okay, hopefully. Uh,
Yeah,
Hamstrings tend to linger all season. They
yeah.
never fully heal. So
Well, that's why
that
JJ
could,
was out for so long last year because he wanted to make sure it was fully healed before he came
yeah,
back, so he didn't re-injure it.
yeah. So it's like, okay. And then did you hear the drama in Cincinnati with Jamar Chase? He's become a diva.
Well,
He's
most receivers are.
he wants to get paid. Which defensive end?
Who's got it?
Which one is hurt? Are you thinking of Van Ginkel?
He must be talking about Van Ginkel.
Van Ginkel's ready to go. Blake Cashman's ready to go. They kept the big guy. I can't pronounce his name.
Taki.
Yeah,
They call him Taki. That's what he calls him. They, the biggest guy is actually the guy from Brazil, the tight end.
Who's that? Reyes?
He's 6'7", 3 something.
The guy they signed on practice squad.
But they were able to because he's you get one international player on your practice squad. He's the
Oh yeah, he's that big.
Yeah.
Wow. Can he catch?
I don't know. Six offensive lineman though.
He can probably hold. What's his name? They brought back too and kill Harry.
Which guy, T-Bass? They picked up a lot of guys that were hurt.
Yeah, we did. You're kidding, right, Bob? Well, Zimmer's probably going to get that. Zimmer's probably going to get that head coaching job in Dallas after this year.
Well, especially seeing how they gave all the money to CeeDee Lamb. And
CeeDee Lamb, yeah.
Dak Prescott. He's got no excuses. I don't think Dak Prescott's a good quarterback. But
well, they didn't pay Prescott.
Well, but from all indications, are they going to?
You think so?
That's what the talk is here in Dallas.
Huh. It's taking a long time to do it.
Unfortunately, I hear about the Cowgirls all the time.
I know that's got to suck.
Oh,
that's got to suck.
And I hate the basketball team, the Spurs. I hate the Spurs. I got to hear about them all the time.
Ayuk is not signed yet, George. He's having a hold, and he wants more money. Also, Trent Williams.
Yeah.
Trent Williams and Christian McCaffrey's dealing with he's dealing with an injury.
Well, right now, Nick Muse might be the third. Nick Muse might be the Hawkinson role right now because Oliver can't catch as good as Nick Muse.
Funny thing is, Nick Muse is really a fullback. He can play fullback too.
He played H-back, tight end, when he was in South Carolina.
Yeah, so he can play fullback. H-back is a fullback.
Yeah.
So you got that. Why I think they kept Ham for veteran leadership. That's the only reason, unless they plan on letting him run with them.
Oh, yeah, Luff knows what I'm talking about. He's in Austin. Damn cowboy talk. No one cares. Did he get cut?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he got cut. Roy just wasn't what they were looking for. They kept Redmond, though.
He's on the practice squad, yeah.
Yeah, they kept Redmond, and they kept Taki. Your nose tackles are probably going to be Taki, Phillips, and if they need to bring him up, Redmond. But, yeah. So I don't know what's going to happen with Addison yet. They haven't announced any kind of suspension or anything like that, so we don't know. Yeah, Davenport can stay available too.
What is wrong with graybeards, George?
Yeah, George, explain that one there, buddy.
Yeah.
What about Williams? Well, the Vikings put Jonah Williams on the practice squad.
Was Reisner one of the people they put on there for
Riser's on IR with a destination to return.
And then they also put somebody else to destination. to return as
Hawkinson's
well.
still on the pup list.
Right, and then so they put another player with destination to return as well. I think once Reisner is healthy, I think Ingram's gone.
Well, you know what? I think
Because they could put Brando at one guard and put.
I'd rather put Robinson in at right guard. I would.
Yeah, well, because Rouse is listed as the third tackle.
Behind
He's a swing
O'Neal
tackle.
and Garrisol? He's a swing
Yeah,
tackle?
he's a swing tackle.
Okay.
When the Vikings did their depth chart, he was listed third.
Okay. Murphy's on the IR.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know, but Reiser, I'm surprised he even made the team. I'm surprised he made the team at all.
Right. I mean, he's not the best, but he's better than.
He can't run block for shit.
Yeah.
That's the problem. He can't run block. Pass blocking has its moments, but when you're an offensive line, you're kind of desperate at that guard position. It's,
Can I say something real quick? You and I have been vilified, Tony, for talking shit about PFF. People are finally starting to see with Ed Ingram grade that they gave Ed Ingram the stuff that we've been talking about.
Oh, with his grades?
Yes. Have you seen any of the YouTube videos or anything about that?
All I've noticed was that
they rated him the best guard in preseason. And people are like, what the hell are you guys looking at? We can see with our eyes that he has regressed. He is not good anymore. That is what you and I have been saying. Look with your eyes, not what PFF says. The PFF is finally getting destroyed for their rating.
People, how much grief did I take? How much grief did we take?
Yeah.
But especially me, because I was vocal.
Yeah.
How much grief did I take because I pointed out every PFF grade last year in like 7 games, the best offensive lineman was Garrett Bradbury.
Yeah.
The same Garrett Bradbury who gets pushed 5 yards back into Kirk Cousins. But he was the best rated lineman in the Viking games. Once again, like I said with PFF, nobody's ever explained their basic, how they grade things. They never explained it. They just put these numbers out there and people eat it up like it's gospel.
The way I heard, because like I said, I listen to Sirius XM, I listen to the NFL station. And the way Jim Miller or Pat Kerwin, which, by the way, if you guys don't ever listen, if you guys have never heard Moving the Chains, I know Jim Miller was a quarterback for the Bears. He calls the Bears the beloved. I think it's more of a joke or anything like that. They are fantastic. And how they explained it was they look at the film and they say, okay, well, this was the play that was called. Okay. So they go by how the play was called, what play was called, and they say, okay, well, this player had this assignment, this player had that assignment, this player did this. That's what they think that player's assignment was.
So it's all an assumption.
So Jim Miller, he's like, I understand PFF, I understand why they use it and all that type of stuff, but he kind of has a criticism too. He's like, the problem with PFF is they have no idea what the coach told that player what to do on that play. You may think he was supposed to go left, but the coach told him to go right. Or he was supposed to stay in and pass block. He was supposed to do this. He was supposed to do that. So I get the ratings. I get it's a baseline to the players like this. But when you see with your own eyes how bad a player is, but PFF constantly gives that player a good grade.
Yeah.
And no one ever calls them out to it until finally this year with how bad Ingram was looked in preseason, and they still give him a good grade. I think finally people are starting to see, okay, maybe it is a flawed system, because there's literally networks out there who use PFF for their player ratings.
PFF is used exclusively by NFL front offices, and the reason that's done, and this is what I had a long discussion with, my guy. This is a problem with a lot of your NFL front offices. You don't have people that are football people working in the front office. You now have business managers and business people working in the front office. They don't know anything about football. So they use PFF as like a grading point of, okay, should we pay this guy? Should we pay that guy? A lot of general managers use PFF, including ours. If it's all about analytics now, and that's the problem. It's all about the numbers. So basically, the nerds have taken over my sport, and everything is now based on analytics, which cannot tell the whole story. It just can't. You cannot tell me that Garrett Bradbury was our best offensive lineman in games last year. I won't believe it because I watched the same damn games you said he was good in, and he sucked.
Yeah.
He literally sucked. But you give him this grade as he was the best graded offensive. It's like, give me a break. What the hell are you watching?
Yeah.
I mean, it's if you know football, if you even know if you know Madden, even the littlest of football.
Can you imagine what Bud Grant would say to something like that? Or Mike Zimmer. I've seen him play, but PFF will have a high grade on him.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, going back to this comment. Sorry, I just had to kind of.
But no, it's true. I mean, I'm not a big PFF guy at all. I take their numbers with a grain of salt. I don't take their numbers as religious.
Right.
I think for those that do, that's fine. You can use that, but you've got to use your own eyes.
Yeah.
And if you know football, if you watch that line of scrimmage every game like I do, like we do, Garrett Bradbury was not.
I got NFL Plus, so I can watch the all 22 after the game.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I'll sit there and I'll dissect the game as the game's going along, and I'll just be like, yeah, this is You can usually tell from the first drive if it's going to be a long day for the offensive line,
So, Sarah, I agree. The preseason showed the Vikings had more depth than people thought they did.
And it also showed me that, especially on offense, KOC needs to not call the plays.
Yeah. And Gabriel Murphy is the guy who's on IR with return. I can't wait to see him play. Oh, my God. I was so excited.
He hasn't played at all with a bad knee. So, I mean, I don't know what.
I don't know, T-Bass. Ingram's pretty bad, man.
Ingram is bad. He's regressed. He hasn't got better. It's Reisner. Reisner's just a body right now. That's all he was. That's all he is.
Ingram was better than his rookie year.
Yeah, but I mean, he regressed. He just did. So, yeah, PFF, yeah, but unfortunately, you've got a bunch of people that buy into it, and plus, they sell that thing they sell the subscription for it, and people are eating that up like it's the gospel. So, well, good luck, Sarah.
Yeah, good luck, Sarah.
So, yeah, I mean,
make sure you wear a jacket. It's starting to get cold in that corner.
Oh God.
What up? Too evil.
Too evil. But Davenport, I mean,
Davenport made the Lions 53.
Is he wearing 0 again?
Oh, probably. Let's see. Yeah, it's all good.
Oh, somebody ticked off your dog.
Jeez, my dogs are being so goddamn annoying tonight. So, do you think there might be a possibility in preseason that Ingram knew he had the starting job and just plain not to get hurt. No.
If he was thinking like that, he shouldn't have been. The fact that he was playing with the backups, that should have kind of gave him a hint right there.
Yeah, he was the only starting lineman that played with the backups.
Yeah, he was the only starting lineman. You know, that kind of, I mean, if that's the case, that tells you right there, warning. And also, if you're a starter and you're playing with the backups and you don't outshine said backups.
Right, Rouse looked the best of all the backup. He looked the best.
Yep.
Even someone else who flashed was Bird. Bird flashed, and he made the practice squad.
He's on the practice squad too. Robinson is the one that flashed big time.
Yeah, he's also on there too.
Yeah, and he's on practice squad. So I mean, Ed Ingram's way of thinking,
yeah,
that's kind of a lazy way of thinking. But you know what? He went to LSU.
Yeah,
I've noticed something about a lot of LSU kids. They play great in college, but when they get to the pros.
Well, Luff, you would know you're a host. I think is a strong PFF user, but I think all 32 teams do use PFF.
Yeah, they do.
I don't think they use it as the Bible for their players, though.
Some of them do, because most of your people in the front office don't. The ones running the front office now really don't know football. Like Kwesi's not a football guy. Kwesi's not a football guy at all. You're right. It is. It's by numbers. It's by numbers, guys.
Never hear Mike McDaniel, coach of the Dolphins, talk.
Oh God, geeks are us.
My wife is like, is he running the football team or coming to fix their computer?
Well, and he was a couple of things. I mean, what's his name made him he's a minority hire, folks. So after what happened with Brian Flores, which
speaking of Brian Flores, we have not had a chance. We have not had a chance to talk about this. What do you think? I'm trying to think. I know you have to coach players differently. I get that. Brian Flores never wanted Tua. He wanted Herbert. He was forced to play Tua by the owner of the team. People are crucifying Brian Flores, but they're not even saying anything about Tua. So if you want to, you can't really compare offensive numbers because they said offensive, because let's be honest, Tua's numbers look good because he's got Waddle and Hill. He didn't have Waddle and Hill when Brian Flores was the coach. So is it soft? What do you think? I mean, I get it that even back on our days, that if a coach tells you you're not good, you want something else. I know we come from a different generation. In our generation, you don't listen to what the coach is saying. You listen to how he's saying it. And when we played, if the coach didn't talk to you at all or didn't yell at you,
that's a good thing.
It was not a good thing, because that means the coach didn't care if you were improved or not.
Well, also,
if the coach believes in you, he's going to try to motivate you. So I think was he trying, because Tua was, let's be honest, Tua was not good. So
Tua was injury prone. Tua is a concussion away from his career being over.
Let me let these idiots out.
I mean, Tua is literally one or two concussions away from being done with football altogether. He came in his rookie year. He looked, I mean, he didn't exactly set the world on fire. But for him to come out and say what he said about Brian Flores, I mean,
hey, Gary, shut up.
I mean, everybody's different. Everybody's coached differently. Brian Flores is old school. He's an old school coach. Um, a lot of these players nowadays, they want their coaches to be their friends. Case in point, that's why we got KLC, because the players complained that Zimmer wouldn't say hi to them or good morning to them as they walked by. They didn't like his way of coaching. Well, one player didn't, Eric Kendricks. So we end up with, instead of Jim Harbaugh, we end up with KLC. With the Dolphins, they got an offensive guy for Tua. Okay. Tua, great year. Plays his ass off. Tua still can't play. He can't win a game in 40-degree weather. So he's got some flaws to his game. Durability might be one of them. But we'll see what happens. But you basically got a coach. The Dolphins got a coach who is just the opposite of Flores, which maybe it works for them, but I don't know. I mean, I can't take a guy. I mean, me personally, I'd rather have a coach like Brian Flores than a guy like KLC or McDaniel. I would. At least show me that you give a damn about this team, that you have that passion, that you want to win. I mean, there is nothing about that coach that gives me any kind of confidence that they're going to win long term. There just isn't. It's just, I don't know. Oh, T-Bass, there'll be a new player to come in that you can make fun of. Brian, but here's the thing, though. Why are you calling out Brian now?
That's what some of the people were saying is like, you waited till you got that contract. Now all of a sudden you're calling him out. People are like, it seems kind of petty. And all you did was open up, because all you're going to do is get talked about it. Is get questions about it the whole time.
And here's another thing too. Do not put it past Dolphins ownership and management to make that a point too. Don't forget, they still got that lawsuit. So they're going to shed as much of a light on Brian Flores as negative as they can. But let's remember, what was it about Flores? Flores wouldn't basically
what's his name? Ross.
Yeah.
Wanted him to lose games on purpose, like taking players out of the game, doing this, doing
right.
that.
He wanted him to basically just
right. And Flores refused.
And it doesn't work like that. You're a professional. You don't do that. This is what I mean. You've got people running football teams that have no idea how it works. If you're not trying to win, I mean, if you want me to lose games in a sorry ass season, come on. Do I trust you when we're having
George? That I do not know. You would have to talk to SK about that. SK Rap, they're the ones who are mostly doing it. But we will definitely let you know. I can ask tomorrow, and I'll definitely let you know Friday. As of right now, I do not. From last time we talked, I don't think there is.
Are you coming up for Skullfest?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be there Friday through Monday. I'm staying at a buddy's house.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I am not sure if there's going to be a live cast or not, George, but
we don't know.
But there will definitely be a video from Skullfest that we're trying to hire a video photographer right now for the event, and then we're going to edit it, and then I think it's going to be on Rap's channel first, and then it might be on everybody else's channel after that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Tua did get paid. So
Yeah, year 3 is supposed
Yeah,
to
year 3 is the year they're supposed to step up, and he's regressed.
He's regressed. Yeah.
Yeah. He has regressed. That was
So think about that.
Hmm.
If Ed Ingram doesn't turn out to be the player in year 3 that because you're supposed to progress, the 2 picks in front of him are already gone.
Who?
Scene and Booth.
He could be gone too. Yeah, he could be gone too.
So Naylor would be the only player left in that draft.
No, there's Evans.
Because I know Naylor was picked in the 5th round. Was Evans a draft pick or was he an undrafted free agent?
His draft pick. Evans was a draft pick. Otamawo is still in Jacksonville. He couldn't make it with the Vikings, but he's still in Jacksonville? The former Gopher? Come on. I don't get that one at all. So, okay, now go figure with the Patriots. As much help as they need at wide receiver, especially, Rieger couldn't even make it with the Patriots. He got cut again. So what does that tell you about Rieger?
Yeah.
And I thought at T-Bass, I thought Brian Asamoah was going to get traded. He could, I mean, things can still happen. It's early. But they keep them separate from the draft class. Because a lot of the UDFAs don't make it either.
Unless you'll pay for the Vikings.
Yeah,
that's pretty much another one. So Lewis Cine, gone.
Yeah.
Andrew Booth, gone. Eddie Ingram.
Could be gone.
Asamoah.
Asamoah.
Honestly, did he make the team or is he in the practice squad?
He's made the team.
Caleb Evans was a 6th round. So right now, so Ingram, Asamoah, Caleb Evans. You're right. He was a 4th round. Izezi Otuamu, right?
He's in Jacksonville.
Ty Chandler is probably the best player right now. Ty Chandler, Verdarian Lowe, gone. Jalen Naylor.
Verdarian Lowe is in New England.
And then Nick Muse.
And Muse is right there.
So the first 2 picks are complete. The 1st and 2nd round pick are complete.
Please. Are gone. Now keep in mind, you traded for that 1st round pick. You traded down for that 1st round pick.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, there were trade offers for the Vikings put it out there that they were trading them, but no takers. So, you know. But I mean, now it's up to KLC. This is where the head coach comes in. He's got to get
these guys. Aussie?
Hey, Aussie. Yeah, we did get playing time. Evans is a pretty decent defensive back, but he has a concussion history and he likes to hit. He's a hitter. I give him credit there, but the kid just is.
Tua is not going to confront Flores.
No
way. Not that pussy.
No. And hope to God he never plays.
That's someone who runs and hides and doesn't, like if you talk to me a certain way and eventually I'll get tired of it, I will say something.
Well, they all get, I mean, nowadays, a lot of those guys, just young generation, yes, I'm going to say it, they get all in their feelings.
Yeah.
They're worse than women. A lot of these men out here they in their feelings. They're worse than women. Seriously. And Tua's just, I mean, first of all, it's football. So if somebody doesn't coddle your ass, deal with it. I am too, Bob. But I mean, Tua, and I think Tua, once he got paid, he just he's going to become a diva.
Yep.
He's going to become a diva. These guys are making money. These guys are making a ton of money and don't do half the work.
Wow.
Old
The
school.
world is coming to an end. Sarah complimenting Kirk Cousins.
What?
But it's true. It's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Are you professional? I mean, even Kirk Cousins, even now, is he saying anything bad about his Vikings former? No. He's
No,
not.
he's not. Okay, the world somebody needs to write this down. I mean, you wrote it down when I was nice about Kirk. Now you need to write down that Sarah was nice about Kirk. Shit.
Yeah, in our days, the coach.
Yeah, exactly. The coach wasn't our
Exactly.
buddy. He wasn't.
Like I said, goes back to earlier. If the coach ain't talking to you, there's an issue because
Well, okay, I'm going to put it out there. This is what Bob Lertzema told me. Bob Lertzema played here 5 years with the Vikings. Bud Grant never said a word to him in those 5 years he was here. When did Bud talk to him? He was gone from home. It was a day off. Bud called and left a message with his wife to call him. And when he did call him, Bud told him he had been traded to Seattle. That's the only time Bud Grant talked to him. The only time. So it's like, if the coaches notice you, because they'll put you in the game. If they're confident in you, they'll put you in the game. Some will give you the accolades. Some will give you the pats on the back, which is fine. Some don't go overboard with it. But if a coach isn't, if I'm still playing, if I'm doing my job and a coach isn't pointing me out to teams and film and all that stuff, shit, I'm doing something right. But these guys nowadays, they got to be coddled. They got to be talked to. You have to sit in a corner and, dissect their life and give them, what's wrong. How does that make you feel? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm sorry, half these players out here in the NFL are a bunch of little bitches. They are. They are overpaid bitches.
It's like Sarah just said. It didn't work. Leave it at that. Be professional. Don't sit there and say he's not a good person. Don't sit there.
And that's why I think Dolphin management had something to do with him talking about it. I think that management has something to do with it. Flores, I think, how did he get the gig? Wasn't he interim?
No. The Patriots came off a Super Bowl. He was a defensive coordinator.
Oh, and they hired him straight out of.
Yeah.
So they were expecting that Belichick magic.
Yeah.
Okay.
But here's the thing. From what I understand, the way Flores was talking to Tua was kind of the same way Belichick talked to Brady. Well, first of all, Brady was a 6th-round pick, not a 1st-round pick.
Yeah.
So he's been an underdog his whole life.
Brady wasn't even a starter. It was Bledsoe.
Right. And Brady's also a different breed. So I understand you have to talk to players differently. But you can't sit there and say the dude is not a good person just because he coached you rough. Just because he was rough on you as a coach. Just because he was tough on you.
Well, Tua,
you can't sit there and say he was not a good person.
But here's the thing, though. Players nowadays, they will drag whoever they want to because it makes headlines, and they feel they're untouchable because of the money they're getting paid. Who's gonna say anything to them? They're protected in more ways than one. So they're gonna say whatever they want to say about somebody and not give a damn. That's just the way they are. That's the whole thing. Let's face it. Tua sucked his rookie year.
Okay. What has changed with the Miami Dolphins since they got rid of Brian Flores? They have the same record with Mike McDaniel as the head coach that they had with Brian Flores as the head coach.
I think with Brian Flores, they could probably win a game in 40.
Their team was actually better with Brian
Yeah.
Flores because they had less talent. Brian Flores never blew a 4-game lead like the Dolphins did last year to lose the division. So
Yeah,
Dolphin fans are living in the moment because they got Tyreek Hill. They have all that. The Dolphins were good when they had Brian Flores as their head coach.
the Dolphins are living in that moment now that they think they've got this offensive guru because they put up those 72 points on Peyton last year. So they're kind of living in it. But you play in how many cold weather cities in your division and you can't win in any of them?
She's being, you know how she is, Mom. She's in the backyard right now. She's being obstinate. She's been obstinate all day. She's just one of those bitches.
Yeah, Tua, some of these players need to just shut up and play football. They just do. But they get a microphone and oh my God, they're running their mouths. And that's problem number 1 through 10. Yeah, that's it for the draft choices that are left from Quasi's first draft.
But technically they're not though, which is, I get they should be, but
they're UDFAs, which some of them they have so many of them don't make it. I mean, put it this way, the UDFAs probably would have been back in the day part of the draft when it was like 20 rounds, even 12. They would have been drafted. I'm almost thinking they should I would actually move the draft to 10 rounds. That's just me. I would move it to 10 rounds and keep it the way it is. But I also would not televise the draft 3 days in a row. I don't want to watch it. I don't care. Move the draft to 10 rounds. What that will do will change the pay scale for draft choices in the NFL, but what the hell? So, Sarah, the Pats, hell, the Pats didn't want Jalen Reagor, so that tells you right there, what they – the Pats are going to go through some things this year. If you're a Patriots fan, be prepared. This could be a rough year. So, yeah, they were all bust. Yep.
Also, the players nowadays also want to know the why. Back in our day, it was because our coach told us to do so. Now they want to know the why.
Yeah, but when they get the truth, they don't like it. You tell them why, and it hurts their feelings. Or maybe they're just not – these players nowadays are just not smart enough to figure it out for themselves.
Yeah, Sarah, I don't think he literally told him every day that he sucked.
No, Tua's exaggerating that. He's exaggerating that. That's why I said with what he was saying, the things that Tua was saying had me thinking that it was Dolphin owner management especially when Tua, with most teams in the NFL, your quarterback is the face of your franchise. So if they're going to ask him questions like that, they're going to want him to make the old guy look like the bad guy. So
I think the Pats are going to finish with the worst record.
You think so?
Yeah.
Carolina's still pretty bad.
But they are in their second year and stuff like that. But they're talking about they're comparing Drake May to Sam Darnold as far as being a high draft pick, going to a dumpster fire of a team.
Yeah, and it looks like Bo Nix is going to be the one he's starting, so I think he's day one start. By the way, JJ was going to be starting this year. I think he had barring injury, I did say I would start him week 1 if he was healthy. But yeah, he was going to start this year. He was.
Well,
which I'm starting to think, honestly, just from little stuff I'm reading and everything, KOC doesn't have the strongest support of. He doesn't really put everything behind Darnold. So, which could be why he wants to go after Tannehill.
I haven't seen a Tannehill. I'm not, so I'm not going to comment on it until I actually see it, But I don't know. Well, one thing JJ did, with him getting hurt. I know you just love being on camera. Yeah, I know. Everybody, the one thing about McCarthy getting hurt is that it did take away the pressure behind Darnold of JJ's going to start. JJ. So then he doesn't have to look over his shoulder. So does that change the way he plays? We don't know.
Well, I don't know. Quarterbacks are weird. We know the old guy used to look over his shoulder all the time. That's why they coddled him.
No, Singletary called out Vontaze Davis, Vernon Davis, the tight end, said that he didn't want him on this because he, I guess Vernon Davis quit or didn't do something, or
he benched him.
But after that, Vernon Davis became a good soldier. So obviously,
he benched him.
Obviously, what Singletary did worked.
Isn't Davis in the Hall of Fame now?
Vernon Davis? No, I don't think. I don't know. What up?
No, Patrick Willis is. Patrick Willis is.
Yeah. What up? What up, Gil?
Hey, Gil.
Stop.
Yeah, I mean it's. We'll see what happens, but KOC got his franchise quarterback, and the kid can't play, so he's got. And this year's not a pass, folks. It's not a pass. He won 13 games first year, 7 games last year. Anything less this year, and he's got a decent team, that's on coaching. And I'll tell you what, I would seriously think about moving on. I would seriously think about moving on. KLC might not. I mean, KLC might not be the right guy. So
we'll find out.
Well, we kind of got a sample size now. And keep in mind, KLC and Kwesi are all on the same contract. Who they keep and who they let walk is going to be interesting. Heineke's with the Chargers? Shaq, I'm not sleeping on Darnold. I'm just optimistic on Darnold.
It's hard to ignore his history. Yeah. So I know everybody keeps saying that this is his best team he's ever played for, yada, 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 yada. But it is hard to ignore his history. So that is the question.
Yeah. Well, put it this way: if KOC is supposed to be this quarterback guru that we were told he is, he can make Darnold look like a good quarterback.
That's what people are thinking because he's such a quarterback guru that.
Here's the thing, though: who the hell said he was a quarterback guru?
Hey, everybody calls him a quarterback guru. I'm just saying.
Who the hell is he developed? He's been okay wherever he's went. He's had Sean McVay as a coach with him. I mean, what the hell?
Well, I think because he used to be a quarterback, maybe.
He sucked. He sucked.
He was behind Tom Brady. I don't know.
He still sucked. He literally sucked. He was a terrible quarterback.
I know that. I'm just saying.
Well, sometimes some of these quarterbacks make better coaches than they do players, but I don't see it with him. I mean, Shaq Kirk already had skills. I mean, he let Kirk throw the ball more. That helps when you're a quarterback like Kirk. Yeah, you got to throw the ball. And like I said, I never had a problem with Kirk as far as he's a good quarterback. Never took that away from him. It was the intangibles with the position that bugged me with Kirk. But his passing ability and all that stuff, I never had a problem with it. You know? So, I mean, I just got to see what happens.
Hold on a second. I think my cat's back. My cat got out.
Okay. Yeah, it's just, and with me, it's KOC's play calling. If I was KOC, I'd give up the play calling, but he will never do that. So, you know. Okay, T-Bass, first of all, I like JJ McCarthy, okay? So you can call me one of them McCarthy worshipers all you want. I like JJ McCarthy. I have no problem with JJ McCarthy is a competitor. I have no problem with JJ. Depending on how he comes back from his injury, he should be that quarterback of the future. You know. See, Sarah, that's the whole thing. We don't know. I mean, KOC, we don't know what KOC has done because KOC focuses on the quarterback so much, but what about the rest of the offense? And here's another thing with KOC. Why do you have to have the most confusing and biggest offensive playbook in all the league to learn? I mean, dumb it down for the rookies, dumb it down for everybody. I mean, come on. I mean, I'm not ripping on the guy, but, you know. Well, yeah, T-Bass, I mean, the jury will be out on him, but I've seen enough of him, sample size, that I think he'll be fine. I think he can do it. Seen enough of Darnold to question him, but Darnold's never had weapons. So we'll see what happens. If KOC goes in this year and he gets something out of Darnold, then I'll give him credit. But I mean, I got to see that first. KOC's still got more to show me. I mean, his play calling leaves a lot to be desired. That's the biggest thing.
Sorry, I'm back fully.
His play calling to me is still suspect, especially at the time when he calls plays. He's still terrible at clock management. So we'll see what happens.
Our cat got out while we were gone. So he's been out for a couple of days. He just came back. So yeah. Yes, Mom. Elvis is back.
Elvis has returned to the building.
Yep. Wait, did Wes Phillips call the plays in the preseason?
Yes.
Did they confirm that he was the one calling the plays?
Yeah. It wasn't KOC.
So why doesn't KOC just let him call plays in the regular season?
Because KOC has an ego. I mean, take this into consideration, folks. In all the years that KOC was an offensive coach, never called plays. He comes to Minnesota, he's calling plays. he was going to call plays. He said that in his presser. He's never called plays in the NFL. So, so it's like, okay. And when he said that, the first person that came to mind when he said that was Brad Childress. Because Brad Childress never called plays till he got to Minnesota.
My kick-ass offense is going to run.
You talk about press conferences that were hard to listen to. Oh my God. You went from Mike Tice, they're a good football team. They got good football players. They got a good football stadium. And then you go to Childress, who was like you did. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. We got to review the film.
That was, and then you go to Leslie Frazier. Christian Ponder gives us the best chance to win.
You're right, Shaq. He did have a kick-ass offense. Everybody else kicked its ass until they got Brett Favre.
If he did, I never saw it. Every time, even in Washington, Sean McVay was with them, but I think Jay Gruden called.
Jay Gruden was the offensive coordinator for the Redskins.
Yeah, Jay Gruden was
Sean McVay
called the plays.
Sean McVay was the assistant offensive coordinator, and Kevin O'Connor was the quarterback's coach.
And then when they got to LA in title, KOC was the offensive coordinator. Sean McVay called the plays and put the playbook together.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was,
oh, that press conference. And that was even after they won.
Yeah, that was against the Rams.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see what happens. Dylan, they do embellish. They do embellish when they say something.
Yeah.
They will embellish. So, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That is very true. That 12-4 season was more on Favre than it was on Childress. But Childress reaped the reward and got an extension out of it.
Yeah. So, and then you go and trade Randy Moss.
Yeah. No, T-Bass, Denny never called plays. The first year he was here, it was the guy had I forget the guy's name, but Burns. His name was Burns. And then after him was Billick. And then his last year was Sherman Lewis.
Chip Myers was what, Tice?
No, Chip Myers was with Denny, but he passed away
right
during the off season. That's how Ray Sherman got the gig.
Okay, because Ray Sherman wasn't supposed to be the offensive coordinator.
No, Ray had left and came back, and he kind of fell into it because of the passing of Chip Myers.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and Billick took his OC gig and won a Super Bowl with it. So
he worked with his players. Yeah, hold on a second. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Billick was when he got to Baltimore, he already had the defense. He didn't really have that much offense. But he had who was his running back? Was it Jamal Lewis? So they were still running the ball. But Yeah, but Billick had a good situation to go to, and I mean, he had a hell of a defense. So, you know, but yeah, so then Billick got a head coaching job. I think a couple of guys. Well, Tony Dungy got a head coaching job from Denny. So yeah, both T-Bass, both Green and Grant knew football. And Burns knew football too. Jerry Burns was a head coach at Iowa. So he was a head coach at Iowa. He was also the defensive back coach for the Packers when they won their first Super Bowls. So when he came to the Vikings, he became defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator. So he knew football. Most of your coaches nowadays, they either were one side of the ball or that's it. You're either offense or defense. And the way the NFL is going now, they want offense. They want tons of points. They want high scoring. They want basketball. They want basically NFL blitz without the hits, but they want the points. So, so that's why a lot of teams are hiring these offensive whiz kids to be head coaches. Doesn't mean they can run a whole team. No. Half of them don't even know the other side of the ball. Nothing. It's like, and that's just the way the NFL is nowadays. But yeah, the days of coaches knowing both sides of the ball are pretty much gone.
Well, the head coach should know both sides of the ball. The head coach should be more like a CEO than anything else.
Supposed to be.
Yeah,
he's supposed to be.
And you're supposed to leave the off. That's why you hire offensive, defensive coordinators. You're supposed to delegate. You let them call the plays and.
But you've got a lot of coaches that have egos. I mean, it was true back in the day. It was, what's his name had an ego? Dick Vermeil.
Yeah.
He was calling the plays.
He called the plays when he was with the Eagles?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. He called the plays. Didn't Walsh call the plays?
Stop it. And Kerry, stop.
Didn't Walsh call the plays for the Niners?
What? So what? No, we were gone for 4 days and he got out. Well, 5 days that we were gone, he was in the house. But when we came back, he was gone. So I don't know how long he's been gone. And the dogs are aggravating right now. So.
Okay, Norpheus, thanks. Walsh did call his own plays.
I thought, yeah, Walsh did, but Walsh also knew like defense and stuff like that.
Yeah, they knew. I mean, they knew both sides of the ball, and they had an idea what they wanted for defense. Now keep in mind, folks, when the Vikings hired KOC, Donatel got hired first.
So couldn't you fire him though once you get hired?
He should have. He should have fired him midway through the season when you realize your defense sucks and it's not improving, it's getting worse. But he kept him because they were winning.
They were winning in spite of him, though.
They were winning in spite of him. But eventually, Donatel's defense cost them in the playoffs. It did. And T-Bass, a lot of that has to do with management. Actually, I'll talk to Catch off air about it, but there's a lot of things going on out there at their front office that they're head scratchers.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that Tony and I know that you guys don't know, we can't.
Right. And I haven't even told Catch what I talked about the other night with my guy. I haven't
And
told him.
we can't disclose it, obviously, but
Right.
or who we heard it from or anything like that.
Yeah.
But
it is it'll have you looking at this team differently. I'll just put it like that. You know.
yeah.
Orpheus, he got
I swear to God, I'm about ready.
Looks like
I am about to throw in Kiri. I'm about to throw her outside and just let her go.
Well, we know what your place looks like now.
Unfortunately. Hey, the Twins lost again.
Yeah, they got. Oh God, I'm going to hear about that. That's Trisha's other team.
We got swept.
They got swept, so I'm going to hear about that. Well, her team is chasing the Phillies, I guess.
They lost 2 or 3 from the Cubs.
Yeah.
The Cardinals.
Yeah. Yeah, Seaford got 2 Super Bowls.
We got a lot of clutter on our kitchen cabinet.
So, but yeah, I mean, it helps if your head coach is a football guy and knows a lot about football. We'll see what happens. My breakout player candidate for this year. Breakout player. Breakout player, I'm going to go on a limb. And this is if he stays healthy. Jalen Naylor. I'm going to go Naylor on offense. Defense,
What do we consider breakout? Like, what's the parameter for breakout?
I think they're major contributors to the team.
So, if Ivan Pace has an all-pro season, would that be a breakout?
It would be, but you kind of expect it out of Pace because he showed it last year that he was going to be that good of a player.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah. I think with a breakout player is somebody that has not done anything, and then all of a sudden they basically turn into KJ Osborne or Josh Metellus, somebody like that. Nondescript, but then they contribute big time to the team.
Well, I'm going to say it. Sam Darnold.
You got faith in Sam?
I have faith in the cast.
Do you have faith in the play caller?
Sometimes. I'm not a huge Cat fan, Orpheus, but Elvis is kind of a cat that likes to keep to himself. So
I think with the play caller, he'll actually put together some plays. I'm going to give him credit here, folks. He'll actually call a pretty decent drive where they'll get downfield. But then he will call a play that you're just scratching your head. The one that could shine in, it would be probably I'm going to say Nick Muse.
Well, I didn't want to say Nick Muse because I'd be considered a homer. Went to the same school I went to, and
we're past the homer stage there, Catch. You can say it.
But
no, Muse could be that wild card.
At least for the first 4 or 5 games.
Right. And now keep in mind, we don't even know, who's going to be active and who's not going to be active come Sunday. So,
Well, Well, they would have to carry all three tight ends, don't they? With the only two running backs.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
So you would almost have to.
You don't think they're going to let CJ Ham actually run with the ball, do you?
No, what I meant by third down back would be like pass pro, and going out for passes.
The only one that could do that is Aaron.
So,
Although Ham can catch, but he's not a. He's not a.
Hey, he's better than Tahi.
Yeah.
Or all those short passes that Brad Childress threw to Tahi.
Oh yeah, they gained a yard or two. I mean, the guy had a consistent 2-yard average.
Hey,
Consistent 2-yard average. You can't blame him. Here's the thing with the kicker. I'm not saying anything until he starts kicking in regular season.
I mean, he has looked good, but Justin Tucker kicked an 80-yard field goal in pregame.
Yeah, that's pregame.
So
that's pregame. There's no rush.
Still 80 yards.
It's still no rush.
But Justin Tucker is probably the best kicker. Him and Daniel Carlson are probably the two best kickers in the league.
Yeah, where did Daniel start out? Never mind.
So we'll see. We'll see. I don't think kicking is going to be an issue this year.
Punting might.
I mean, they did bring in competition for Wright.
And then they got rid of it. Then they got rid of said competition.
Yeah, they may have got rid of Nwang. He was purely just a speed guy. I don't know if he ever got the pass pro down. So that could be another reason why they let him go.
Still, you're gonna have to. I mean, who the hell is gonna return kicks? I want to know. Because Nwangu would have been fine at that. He was a weapon that you could have had at kick returner. And he's a running back. Keep him.
Well, I know Powell is going to return punts. So, yeah, Wright beat out Vernon because he had to, because Wright did not have a good year last year.
I don't think it'll be Hall. I think it'll be if it goes to, they're going to get a veteran quarterback up here, and it could be Tannehill. Depends on Tannehill might want too much money. So
the Packers don't have a kicker on their roster right now.
Oh, they released Joseph?
Yeah.
So they have no kickers?
They got no kicker on their team right now.
Wow.
T-Bass, they have to let the other team know they're doing an onside kick.
Yeah, and that's only in the fourth.
Hey, guys, just to let you know, we're doing an onside kick.
Yeah. And it's only in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And you have to be losing.
Yeah.
I
could see Hall being the backup. I can definitely see that.
There haven't been any special team aces in a long time because special teams is not the NFL. If it was up to the NFL, there would be no kickoff. They would just spot the ball at like the 30-yard line and take it from there.
Oh, they picked up the kicker from the Titans. Okay. Yeah, they said that the Vikings were doing special team practices without the media watching, so they know who was returning kicks. So.
No, Sarah, it might be Tannehill. He'll be the number 2, which means Mullins is history.
Yeah, but how much are we paying him, though?
Veteran minimum.
What is that?
$1 million. After week 1, it's $1 million. He can't come in and demand big money.
I would say Marcus Sherrills was.
No, we had another one. Besides Sherrills. He played with Sherrills. Special teamer. I forget his name, but he was good.
Chris Brown? Not Chris Brown. You know what I'm talking about. The talker? Chris Boyd.
Chris Boyd, yeah. No, it wasn't Boyd. It was another guy. I'll have to go through my rosters. It'll hit me. I think what they're going to do is with the onside kick is they're going to do it the way they did it back in the day, the standard way to do it. Now, do these coaches remember? I don't know, but they'll get the hands people out there. They'll get it it'll be a regular. It'll be a.
Are you talking about Heath Farwell?
Farwell was with the Seahawks.
Yeah, but is that the special teams ace you're talking about? You said there was another special teams ace. He was, but
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I want.
Yeah, it's Farwell. He's talking about Farwell.
I agree with you, Sarah. What up, Gary?
So you'd be cool with keeping Mullins?
I think Hall's the backup.
I don't know if I'd put Hall out there. I mean, yeah, he played decent against the Eagles. He played good. And okay, let's just put it this way, folks. Whenever a player gets a chance to shine, whether it be against the first string, second string, third string, that's what he's supposed to do. It doesn't matter who you shine against, just so long as you shine, just so long as people see you, just so long as you're making some sort of contribution to the team, no matter when it is, no matter who it's against, you're making a contribution. So, I mean, when people say, well, it was against the third string, fuck that. You're a professional. So
you're supposed to do it against the third string.
Right. Even if you are third string.
Right.
They're at your level. So guess what?
If you flash and play better than them, that means you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Right. And I mean, let's stop with this whole, he didn't play against real competition. Oh, fuck you. He played against competition. You're going to need to put that
How many players are supposed to do that, but don't?
Exactly.
What up, Jamie?
I mean, we got
Jamie, while we have you in here, we had a question earlier about live streaming Skullfest. I don't know if there was a definite answer last time we talked about it. Is it going to be live streamed? So Jamie will go ahead and answer that. And so if you guys haven't checked out Jamie and Casey, you guys need to check them out. They are a great show. They come on before I come home from work, so I can't really watch them. But so just live at the bar. I know we are planning on streaming it eventually. So it may not be this year, but next year I believe so. But like I said, we will have that video of it afterwards. So, yeah.
Yep.
But yeah. Devin has Devin, yeah. There probably won't be another Devin Hester. Were you thinking of Cordero Patterson?
Me?
Yeah, when you said he played with Marcus Sherrill's special teamers.
No, it was a defensive guy. It was
okay.
Lane guy.
Okay.
Oh, well, this is interesting. 1-on-1, Richter versus Andre Carter. Who is more pro ready?
Richter.
I saw some things in Richter. I'd actually have him out there on Sundays.
Yeah. I Richter flash. Richter speed. Richter the second, like Richter beat the guy who he was supposed to beat, just like Dallas Turner whipped the starting left tackle for Las Vegas.
I think that guy got cut.
So, but he was the starter. So
yeah, he got cut.
But
he was bad.
I like our 5 pass rushers that we have. Yeah.
We still ain't got crap for a defensive line though.
No, they have 5 of them, but yeah, I mean they have 5 defensive linemen and 5 pass rushers.
You're not going to get Flores wants to get his pass rush from his linebackers.
Yeah.
You're not getting it from that D line. And if I'm an opposing team, I'm running the ball all day. I am running the ball all day. And that sets up play action.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I mean, you open a season against Daniel Jones. You ought to be able to do something against him. So
Yeah, that's going to be they definitely need that one. I think I don't know, man. There's only one guy on the defense of the Giants who scares me, and that's because of who he's going against.
yeah, Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah, the other part of the defense isn't really, they can't cover Justin Jefferson, so that part doesn't really affect. It's
So does it look like Addison's going to play?
I haven't heard anything about him being
I
suspended.
haven't heard anything either. So are they gonna? Is this going to be something that's going to drag on into the regular season?
Well, he was charged with a misdemeanor sitting in the passenger seat, so maybe,
I wonder if it gets tossed. I wonder if it gets tossed in Cali. If it gets tossed,
no, because it is California.
yeah, it could get tossed.
Well, yeah, it's Chris Walsh was the Vikings version of Steve Tasker.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, yeah.
You think is it ankle or knee?
Ankle, I believe.
Like I said, I've been out of the loop. I went on vacation. Just totally forgot about it.
It's ankle. So if that's the case, it'll be Naylor, Jefferson Naylor, and Powell. So
yeah, but he's hurt. But let me see. Let's see what saves. Won't be cited. So it's a high ankle sprain. Those are the worst.
yes, take the longest to heal too.
Addison won't be decided until his court appearance, which is now after the Jets game. So basically, he's probably going to get thrown out because he's sitting in the passenger seat. He wasn't driving. He was on the side of the road. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be, and I'll tell you what, if it gets thrown out, I don't know if the NFL will suspend them because then the NFLPA will step in. I think it's safe to say the dude has a drinking problem. They'll step in and do something about it. But the NFLPA will have this thing. They'll delay this for as long as they can. He may end up playing. He may play this year, not miss a game except for injury.
Yeah. That'd be. So would Naylor really be the number 2?
Either Naylor or Powell. After JJ, it's open. It's up in the air. Yes, he does. He's young. He got all that money, and he's young. It's that much money for a young kid. It can, it's more money than they'll ever probably see in their life unless they're still successful. But at that young of age, and you got to check with all those zeros for playing a sport, playing a kid sport. Yeah. Money does not buy maturity.
Actually, it might make it worse.
Yeah. Yeah, money can't buy maturity. And, he's plus he lives in LA, you know. So Naylor will be the number 2. Okay, so Powell will be the number 3.
Well, mostly because he works in the slot, I would think.
Mm-hmm. I don't think he gets suspended a whole year, sir. I heard he could get suspended was 6 games.
No, not with a misdemeanor though.
Yeah, it's a second offense though.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah,
But it's not like it's traffic stuff though.
NFL doesn't care. And if he doesn't, the Vikings have already talked about suspending him themselves.
Well, that's definitely the team can definitely suspend him.
You know. So, but here's the thing, though: your team's going to suspend him, then the league is going to suspend him. That ain't going to fly with the NFLPA.
No, it's not.
It's
It's got to be one or the other.
Right. It's like that's. I mean, and here's the thing: if the NFLPA had a better leader, I think the NFL wouldn't be getting away with a lot of stuff they get away with now. Not as far as player wise.
Well, we'll definitely. The one drawback. I mean, yeah, it sucks that McCarthy got hurt, but at least he gets to sit and learn from a year, see the pace of the game, see how everything happens, watch film. Of course, the one thing that he is going to miss out on is actually doing the reps in practice.
Was that JJ McCarthy? Yeah. When is he? How long is he supposedly going to be in the knee brace? How long is his knee going to be before he can actually start doing any kind of workouts with it, rehabbing it? Did they say?
Well, see now it's an MCL. That's the least of the 3. So, if you're going to hurt anything, you're going to the MCL. The MCL.
Hey, Sarah, I think they're going to do something with Rice. I think that's going to come up.
You talk about Rashid Rice, the guy who killed 3 people.
Yeah,
drag racing. They signed Juju Schuster-Smith, so he may be out. I think the Chiefs are planning on him being out a while.
Yeah. You look at Darius Toney go, so.
Yeah, but he couldn't. I can catch better than he can.
Yeah, and isn't he the one that lined up?
And I got lineman hands. Yes, he was the one who lined up offsides.
He lined up offsides. I remember that, dumbass. You know what? It's just a good question, George. Anybody, not even a millionaire, just any Joe Blow driving drunk.
Hair all over me.
Call a cab, call an Uber, call a friend.
Yeah, nowadays there is no excuse today.
No.
At all to have a DUI, because number one, if you need a ride, a bar will actually call an Uber or a Lyft for you.
Right.
By doing your own phone. Call a cab if you want to do do it the old fashioned way, So it's to me there's no excuse for it.
I also think Addison's got a bunch of cars. He collects cars, doesn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah. So he had the one up here. He had the one in Cali. I mean, and it follows. So yeah, he could. But there is no excuse. Call a teammate. Shit. If you got it, if you're in
Call
town,
your coach.
yeah, call somebody to come and get you. You're drunk. You know.
Yeah, I mean, you can always call your position coach.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, but I would you. I mean, yeah, you might get bitched out about your coach, but the coach will be like, "Hey, at least you called me to pick you up." So that's
Sarah, that's it. You know what happened? I believe when they found his car, he was sleeping in the passenger side,
Yeah,
but the keys were in the ignition. And I think that's what they charged him with. The keys were in the ignition.
got to have the AC on. It's hot out there.
Yeah. But yeah.
Basically, if you have access to the keys,
Yeah.
and you're even if you're in the passenger seat, if you have access to the keys, they can
charge you.
They can charge you with it, but
Yeah.
most guys won't. But they'll just give you a ride home, have you sleep it off someplace or something like that. But some cops,
And I think he might have been trying to sleep it off.
yeah, and some cops will go by the letter of the law. So, but I mean, still, you still don't need to put yourself in that position.
Right.
I mean, you just need to, like, if you're gonna drink, hell, bring your friend who doesn't drink. Have them be the designated driver. It's not that hard. Like, I'm the designated driver for most people in my family because I do like I will have a drink, whatever, but I won't. If I'm designated driving, I won't drink at all because I can do that. I can go without drinking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, Minnesota laws are strict when it comes to that. Big time strict. Big time.
Wait. Willie Nelson high?
Willie is living the life and he don't even know it.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know it.
They gave you a ride home once?
Cops will do that.
Yeah.
Some cops will. Some will be dicks and write out the ticket anyway. Plus, it depends on what time of the. If it's early in the month, they will.
So, so we're coming to an end now. We've been on for our usual 2 hours. So which is usually for us for Vikings vintage is kind of long.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to the original topic, biggest surprise. Stop it. Biggest surprise cut that you can remember.
Well, the Dave Osborne
cut.
When Osborne got cut.
Biggest surprise non-cut. We can do that.
Honestly, the biggest surprise non-cut.
Yes, George.
Was Jim Marshall. There were like 2 or 3 years there where it was said that Jim Marshall was going to get waived, and he never got cut. But he was the talk too, that he was going to get cut. He never did. That's because Bud was loyal, especially to the older guys. But from what I understood, Mike Lynn wanted to waive him. So
stop.
I mean, there's been Doug Sutherland was a surprise for me. Randy Moss getting traded was a big surprise. So yeah, there's been a few.
Yeah.
Yep.
You hear me now?
Yeah, that is a tough place to be a stoner. So yeah, so now it's on to week 1. Which I'm
For some reason, I didn't need it again.
biggest next move would probably be signing a backup quarterback. Whether it be Tannehill or somebody else, or maybe another defensive lineman, maybe. Hard to say. So, what's up, Eric? So we will see, but yeah, Sarah, the Moss trade came out of nowhere, and then a few weeks later, Red McComb sold the team. So, yeah, the Moss trade was out of the blue. Carl Eller got traded in '79, but everybody knew that was going to happen because he held out the year before. Alan Page getting cut they were pretty sure it was going to happen. They couldn't trade him. Nobody would trade for him. Chuck Foreman, when he was traded to New England, was a shock. He had just come off a knee injury, and he figured he was going to make the team, and he was traded to New England. So he spent a year in New England, and then he was, I believe, they let him go. He was a shock. Let's see. Keith Millard, when he got traded, Millard was coming off a knee injury more than anything. Yeah, he was a shock when he got traded. So Millard was one. Gary Zimmerman was a shock. Been quite a few. Yeah, exactly. That was McCombs had been threatening to move the team ever since the day he took it over. I mean, I knew people that worked in the front office. It was like every day he threatened to move that team out of town and to San Antonio. So, yeah, he didn't get a stadium, and he was just as they say, a bitter bitch about it. So, George, almost every day in the front office, he was threatening to move the Vikings to San Antonio, which they were going to play in the Alamo Dome. So he would go from one dome to another dome, which wasn't better than the dome he left. So, but what's his name was not going to let that happen. Jerry Jones. Yep, he wasn't going to let that happen. That's a good one, Morpheus. Don't ever trust a used car salesman. Exactly. Well, he also owned Clear Channel Communications, I believe. Was it Clear Channel he owned, Catch? Red McCombs? So it's so that's why, I mean, the guy had more money than he knew what to do with. That's all I can say. So Oh wow, I'm going solo here. Okay. So Gary, our kicking game this year? I don't know. Reichard will probably be decent. He'll be good. I have to see him in regular season. I'm not sold on a punter. He wasn't that good last year. I don't know what made him better this year, but he had competition. The competition never got a shot. So they're going to roll with Wright, but we'll see what happens. It's kicking. Anything is possible. And looks like Curtis is having technical difficulties. So, yeah, the punter already. Yeah, San Antonio, Austin is a big area, but unless Jerry Jones, just like you said, kicks the bucket, they won't get a team, at least not in the NFL. We'll see what happens.
I got it. Control M is supposed to unmute. It was not working.
My biggest concern for the Giants game is our offensive line, especially the interior. It's Bradbury against Lawrence. Lawrence owned him in that playoff game. And I don't know if it's going to be much better. This is, okay, also, people, this is the first game of the year where the starters will play together. So none of them played together in preseason. This will be their first game of the year. And we remember what happened last year.
What about the comments the KOC made after the Browns practice?
What did he say?
About the toning it down, being too physical.
You don't say that. It's the second year in a row he's done that. He did it last year with the Niners. You don't say that shit. If they amp up the intensity, you amp up the intensity. This is the NFL. Nobody's going to coddle you. That's what I'm talking about. It's just, you don't say that shit in football. Excuse my language, but you don't. If a team is ramping up the intensity, you ramp up the intensity. You don't go crying to the defensive coordinator, no matter how much you hate the guy and how much of a dick he is, telling you, you're being too mean to my players. You're being too rough. That is excuse my language, folks, pussy move. You don't do that. That's one of my problems I have with KLC. These Viking teams are soft as hell. They are soft as hell. Flores has made the defense a little tougher, but this team is soft. They get pushed around easily. Yeah. And then when your head coach is out there saying stupid ass shit like this, you don't say that. You just don't. Number one rule of coaching: if the team is intensive, you turn the intensity up.
Which surprisingly, they did do that in the regular season game against the 49ers last year.
Yeah, they did, but it was on the defensive side of the ball too that they turned it up. Here's the thing: this team doesn't have tone setters. It's like you don't have any, to go out there and set the tone. What I don't want to see against the Giants is the Vikings open up and go 3 and out. It's just, okay, Norpheus, I'm liberal, so tone it down.
Well, no, traditional liberals are not. It's the new ones that are like the new generation, the generation, like the millennials and those traditional liberals like Bill Maher and stuff like that. They're not. But
Maher's a pussy.
But what I mean by that is he can take criticism. Is what I mean. But yeah. the new generation can't.
So you can't hurt their feelings at all. They're going to need
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and guess what we got? We got
Yeah.
football players that are the same goddamn way.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Jesus.
Yeah.
You know, and here's the thing with when we start the game on Sunday next week, opening game, I would like to see us march down the field and score a touchdown. I would like to see us set the tone, get some sort of points. But for some KOC comes out, his teams just look lethargic as hell. They just look lethargic, like they don't want to be there. There's no fire. There's no nothing.
Harrison Smith is probably the only tone setter we have.
And he's more of a coach now.
Yeah.
He's more of an off-field coach. I mean, if on defense, I mean, you got Pace, you got Metellus, you've now got Turner, Grenard. I want to see what these linebackers can do, especially rushing the passer.
Yeah. Well, Grenard had 12.5 sacks last year.
Yeah, so he should be okay. God, can you imagine him on the field with Turner?
Yeah.
That's what they're hoping for. And you could probably send Van Ginkel in the gaps. I mean, you've got the pass rushing schemes, but you know, it's just they've got to show. Here's what I want to see out of a KOC coach team.
Right.
It's okay to run up the score on a team. Okay? It's okay to jump out to an early lead on a team. It's okay to be physical on a team.
It's okay to keep throwing the ball, keep pressuring the team once you're up by a couple touchdowns.
Thank you. You don't go into a shell. And it's also okay to run the ball.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, fuck. It's like, give me a goddamn break. Everybody's got it in their head. I mean, these offensive coordinators are just, well, the current ones that are in the league now, a lot of them are failed quarterbacks. That's really all they are. So
yeah. I don't know if all of them are, but some of them never even played. So
right. Damn. So yeah, so we'll see what happens. I did say before McCarthy got hurt, this team probably. I said between 7 to 10 games. I actually had him win in 10 games, but now without him, 7 or 8. But you know, Darnold could surprise us. He really could.
Yeah.
Offensive linemen love to run the ball, period, because they can take on the deep, they can one-on-one right away when the ball is snapped, they're moving forward. When they're going to pass, you got to take a step back to set up in passing stance. Tackles usually take a couple, but guards usually take one.
I don't know what a ditch cougar is.
So, well, let's wrap it up, man.
Yeah. Like I said, Sarah, I'm going to send you the invite for the show on Friday. If you can't make it, let me know. But when I set the thumbnail up and everything like that, and we get ready to go on, I'll send you the link. My cat my cat is just hungry because he's been gone for 5 days. And my wife is sleeping in the room where his food is at, so I have to go get his food.
And there's a cat right there.
This is Elvis.
Elvis said, "Feed me now."
Yeah, exactly. So on that, I want to thank everybody for joining us. Like I said, sorry about last week, but I needed a vacation. So we will be on Friday. We'll talk about the season coming up and talk some college football, talk about whatever you want. Like I said, it's an open forum. Sarah, Tony, and I will do the first, 10, 15, 20 minutes of the show, and then we'll have people come on and talk about whatever you want, whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah.
Except for that one thing that starts with a P. We pretty much allow almost everything else. So, like I said, I appreciate everybody for joining us. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel and to Yogi's channel. We're trying to grow this. We'll have more information on Skullfest. You got other channels. You got GG's channel. You got GG Sportscast. JG was in here earlier. You got Vocal White, which is Rap's channel. You got Minnesota Sports Talk. I think that's Dave's channel. So we're all gonna. We also have SK, which is he got his channel as well. So be on the lookout for things for Skullfest. We'll talk about that more. Like I said, I'm actually going this year. I look forward to seeing everybody there. Like I said, we will see you guys Friday
night. See you then.
Vikings, let's win this game. Skull Vikings, on the name. Go get that first down.